Long time no chat with. Get my setup right. It's been oh shit. Ooh, almost lost my mic part again, y'all. It's been so long. Y'all probably don't even know I still exist. Well, I'm back. I decided to just go ahead and do a live rather than trying to um, get back on track with, you know, posting videos and editing and all of that stuff. Y'all, what is up? It's been so long. Has it been a month? I think it's been a month. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for my absence, but I have been getting acclimated to my new space, new kind of setup, new life. What's up, Shana? It is 10:56 a.m. We're Central Standard Time here. I'm in Costa Rica still. Trying to decide if I'm going to stay longer, visit a few other places. I've been to La Fortuna. I am now in a place called Sarapiqui. And yesterday we went to Limon and, well, this weekend went to Limon and Puerto Viejo. So I thought I'd come on and chat with you guys because in the last 7 months, since July 15th, so yeah, 7 months, right? Since July 15th, I have been to 5 countries. Same time as okay, sweet. How you been, Shanna? It's been a minute. How's 2023 treating you? Because it's been an interesting world out here, an interesting place. And am I clear? Let me know if I'm clear because I'm kind of sitting in, I think, the way of the sun, so I can't really see myself. I feel like I'm not clear. Oh, that's better. That's a little bit better. I got a bum knee. I'm wearing compression socks and compression knee. Oh yeah, that's much better. Okay. Okay. All right. Just make a little adjustment because this is a little bit better. I feel like I can see y'all. Y'all can see me. So anyway, yeah. Month number 5 or month number 7, 5 countries. So I thought I'd just chat with you guys. Let me know if you can hear me too, because I can throw my mic in if there's a lot of noise. So yeah, I thought I'd come on and chat with you guys. I've been to Belize in the last 7 months, Panama, Ecuador, Colombia, and now I'm in Costa Rica. So I'm making my American circuit right now, I feel like, and in the United States. So I've been moving all around the world, moving all around the world. I'm starting. You have been, yeah, yes, I have. I'm starting to my bopping around next month. Portugal. Okay, so it's coming up soon. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Perfect. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know. I figure the so many people are. I've been gone for so long. I think the last video I did was sometime in December. I was in Colombia. I think the last video I did. So I figure it's time. I just did a long hike. Uh, did a little dedication thing, and now I want to soak up some of this good Wi-Fi up in this restaurant that's next door. I literally stay down the street, you guys. Well, if I hop this fence, where I stay is right there. So we are literally backed up to an awesome preserve. There's howler monkeys here. Apparently toucans fly through here. We've got, I think they may have sloths on occasion. Like if the sloths choose to be here. Tons of different types of birds and all kinds of other creatures mulling about, but I'm so happy to have this space because I haven't been hiking in, y'all, it's probably been a year and a half, 2 years, like hiking the way that, like, in the, can y'all see that? That's what I hike through. I haven't been hiking where, and I'll post some video too so y'all can see the thick of it. Like, it's like my shoes are muddy. I borrowed some shoes, and because I'm just out here. I'm just out here. So, but it's good to be back with you guys and chat and see what's going on, catch up with you guys. What's new in 2023? Shannon, you're going to Puerto Vallarta. How long are you staying in Puerto Vallarta? If you care to share. I know sometimes, we like to wait till we get there. See what happens. Several of the oh just went to there we go. Several of the Exodus Summit members are arranging meetups in the local cities and countries. So I'm completing my MXM residency and meeting up with. Oh, that's awesome. That's really cool. I know another person since Sandra who got their Mexico residency. Um, so it's just like pretty awesome. Everybody's moving and shaking. But I'm gonna tell you guys, like, the seven countries, 7 months, 5 countries, how different each country is. So like when people, like if we generalize Central America or the Americas or South America or whatever, we really shouldn't generalize. I promise, like there's a lot of similarities, but there's so many differences. Even like down to the dialect of Spanish that they speak, no different than I guess in the States where we all speak English, but we do have our little nuances in our words and stuff like that we use and stuff. But I feel like with Spanish, you know how you think some stuff, like I could formulate some sentences. My vocabulary is a little shoddy because I haven't been keeping up with it and practicing and stuff like that. But you know how things come to you and you're like, yeah, okay, I got that sentence structure. You go somewhere else and like simple words like, excuse me guys, adios. We think adios is goodbye. Well, here they say adios to say hello. It's like, how you saying adios and we ain't even met yet? We ain't even like, but just changing. And when I was in Colombia, everybody said buenas. You say it here, and more people will say hola to you than they'll say buenas. I will say from a community standpoint, and all of these Latin countries that I have been to, for the most part, well, specifically Colombia and Costa Rica, but Colombia, they're very, yeah, this is something I don't think I experienced at all in Panama. But when you walk into a place, or let's say I'm sitting here and some other people walk up, they say buenos dias to the entire restaurant. So like when I first was I want to say when I first experienced it, may have been Ecuador. Was it in Ecuador? And not everywhere, but just like one place a couple restaurants that I was in, and I was sitting, and somebody walked in and said, buenos dias, and I didn't respond because I just assumed they were talking to the staff or they knew somebody there. Sorry, I'm making all these adjustments because I'm sweaty and I have like compression top on. And anyway, I want y'all to be like, why is she? Because it's sticking. So I didn't speak, and then I noticed when some other people walked in, they said like just buenos dias, and everybody was like buenos dias, like, and I was like, oh, they greet as a community, and that's something that is, I feel like, a great ad. Like, it's not something we do in the States, unless we know people. Like, we don't walk in and just say hi to everybody. At least I don't see that very often. Um, but what was I saying? Oh, that's what you're trying to. But it's something that I really actually like. I love that community spirit of saying hello to people first thing. You know, you walk in and everybody is just used to speaking to one another. I'm like, what a way to start, you know, your day, or when you walk into a place, or if you're traveling and you don't know people, for people when you walk in, for them to acknowledge you, or you acknowledge, you walk in and you say it and everybody responds to you. Like, that's fantastic. So I love that. I love that. There's so much that you can learn from different places that you go, if you choose to learn anything. So I really, really like that. Oh, yeah. Pardon me. I've been waking up at like 5:30 in the morning. So I figure, get up and start moving. My quest for 2023 was to finally actually get up and get myself back together physically, get heart healthy again, and start moving. And so I started getting up, doing a run and all of that. And then I went and injured my knee, which I don't know that I've ever had a knee injury in my life, at least not like this. And I hate it. Like, it's awful. It's like you don't realize the lack of mobility when you mess up your knee. And I have a lack of mobility because I messed up my knee. The swelling and stuff is going down. I was able to order a compression band from one of the ladies who was in the States and came back, brought us some stuff. So if you guys are ever traveling to places that other people are, it's so awesome when you extend that you're willing to bring some things to them. That's like that's like a lifesaver. Like, we appreciate y'all so much. I'm attending a meetup in Atlanta February 4th and meetup in Puerto Vallarta in March. Oh, okay, awesome. I like it. I like how the community, the Exodus Summit community is really communitizing. I don't know if that's a word. Or we're gonna call it a word today. Yeah, I was looking for my granola because the place isn't open yet, and I need some more fuel. I had some granola this morning, and I normally have one. I normally have a bag of granola in here, which is why I didn't bag another bag. Because I'm just waiting for them to open a restaurant here. Something to drink and a little protein. But anyway, so yeah, 2023 is to not just speak about it, but to be about it, and get all this flabbiness back together, y'all. It's almost like I woke up and decided, it's time to get it back together. So, luckily, I was able to be in a space. I was blessed enough to get in this space here, and it's a work exchange actually that I'm doing at a brown yoga sanctuary here in Costa Rica, brown owned, um, primarily focused on brown girls and brown boys, which is awesome. We don't get that very often, but you're seeing it pop up more and more and more. And so doing that work exchange, which has been an experience as well, because um, you know, being on your own or moving about and stuff like that, and versus sharing space with other people and doing the community type thing and all of that is different. It's very different, and you know, it takes a lot to be in the mindset to adjust. But I'm a believer of, if you want it, if you want something bad enough, you'll do what it takes. You'll make the changes necessary, or you know, make adjustments necessary to be what you want to be, or be where you want to be. Like, you'll do what needs to be done. You know, I know a lot of people are like, no, everybody can't do that. Well, I think we all can do what it is we really truly desire and want to do. Um, just might take some of us a little bit longer, might take a little bit more dedication, may take a little bit more truth to ourselves. You know, do we really want it? Are we willing to go that route to get it? And there's things that I want to do, things that I want to accomplish, and in order to do that, like I need to put myself in a position of experiencing that. And with that, putting myself in a position of experience is like some discomfort, lots of discomfort. And with discomfort comes change, and we know that. Like most of us, I just think as humans, we just don't function on this thing called change when you're happy. Because if you're happy, you're gonna do the same thing over and over again. And so all the while of planning to do this, I was just like, ooh, ooh, living in a space with other people who are completely different, different backgrounds, some similarities. Um, Even when I was renting the house in Ecuador, renting somebody's, pool house while they have the main house, like that was difficult for me because it always feels like, it's that sense that you're in somebody else's space, right? And conforming to their rules and regulations, or just being courteous to other people. And so you have to think about that sometimes. Well, when you're in the space of other people, I always think of, we just constantly being courteous, and also realizing that everybody does not think like you, function like you, have the same courtesies, have the same mannerisms, have the same, upbringing, as you, and things like that. And how do you gauge and align and not always compromise who you are in order to function in those spaces? And so learning to do that more successfully, has been, it has been the quest, I think, for the last 4 months, really. Even when I went to Colombia, I stayed with somebody, and did more of like the hostel kind of thing. And then we just did a hostel over the weekend in Puerto Viejo. And I was like, can I do this? Can I do a shared, like 8 alternate, trying to get a bite? But it was a really awesome space. And so just, I can always do the things that are comfortable, which is, live by myself, all of those, just the things that I normally do that are easy to do. Or I can say, okay, what is it that I truly desire to build, to grow, to develop? And I think about what those things are. And when I was in Thailand, further, I further began to define this dream I've had for the last 20, 25 years of what it is that I wanted to develop. And it's being tweaked and tweaked more and more every place I go. And having the experience to, if I'm wanting to run, I've been wanting to run like a bed and breakfast, not a bed and breakfast, but like a breakfast kind of place and things like that, serving, coffees and things, and then, nighttime changing that. And literally that has been something I have been planning on doing for over 20 plus years. And so to put myself in these spaces where, I'm like sleeping on somebody's couch when I don't have to, like I could, them, what I saved, money wise, like in a lot of places, it wasn't anything that would break the bank, but I did it because it was uncomfortable, very uncomfortable. Like sleeping on a couch and being uncomfortable was uncomfortable, but I'm just thinking of, that those kinds of things help development of what it is that I want to build out, because you want people to be comfortable in your space. You want people to like be able to, everybody is into this digital nomad or working. We want to have spaces where people can come together or be by themselves and work and find comfort, and be in a space where they feel safe, and different things like that, whether it's a man or a woman or kids or whatever. And so the only way I felt like I could actually really achieve that, because I mean I could just go and start something anywhere, but not have the real experience of what a user is actually going to walk through in their kind of quest when they come in the door, from the beginning until they actually walk out the door. And so, or if they choose to stay. And so, in order to actually really build something properly, I feel like you gotta experience it. I feel like you have to kind of experience being comfortably uncomfortable is like my new motto, my new mission in life. So, can I do this? And when I come out, do I come out? You know, I'm gonna come out unscathed, but am I gonna come out better, more knowledge, more awareness, more things that I can move in. This doesn't work, so which I don't, but not to the point of my living space. I love that you're doing. Hey, work to live, not live to work. That's right. I love that you're doing the work, doing a work exchange for something you already loved doing. Yes, yeah. We it's a yoga sanctuary, and we do yoga and all of that. But I have been switching mine around to more of the physical kind of body movement thing, and I do the hiking and take people on hikes and different things like that. So we have that part of the exchange. Um, that's so true. If you want it bad enough, you'll make it happen. I'm staying in my first Airbnb bed and breakfast in Puerto Vallarta. I insist on an in-suite bathroom with private balcony and strong light. And let me tell you, so you kind of almost have to ask people when you're staying in places, ask them what is strong Wi-Fi. Because you can be, hola chica. You could be in a place and somebody will say that they have Wi-Fi or they'll have strong Wi-Fi and it's, not comparable to what you're used to seeing. Like, uh, when you check the megabits per second and stuff like that. So if you've got a laptop, a strong laptop, and you've got your phone hooked up and 20 other people have the same, you're obviously not going to get good throughput on something less than 100 megabytes, 50 megabytes. If you're at 10 megabytes, you're definitely not. And so that's important when you say, strong Wi-Fi requests. I think the last place I was at, when I was in Colombia, I requested or inquired that they had at least 150 megabytes to do proper streaming. And they can tell you that because all you have to do is when you go on Wi-Fi, click that settings button when you're in the Wi-Fi, and it'll tell you the megabits per second. See, that's perfect. Yeah, the last place I stayed in Colombia, they did the same thing. And there's nothing like thinking that you're gonna actually be able to work somewhere and you can't, um, because the Wi-Fi isn't strong enough or it keeps going in and out. This one girl I met when I was in Tulum, she would go walk around to places, take her laptop, all of her things that she worked with, because her job actually didn't know she was moving around like that. Um, and she would take all of her equipment with her and sit and say, okay, I want to come and stay here. Plus you can get sometimes better pricing if you go to the front desk and that kind of thing. And so she would literally go and say, okay, you have Wi-Fi, can I hook up and see if it's enough for what I need? And she found most of the time it wasn't. A lot of times people, they have Wi-Fi, they provide Wi-Fi because we gravitate to places where we can connect, right? And that doesn't mean that that's going to be sufficient for what you're trying to do. So that's one way. But yeah, definitely the photo. I notice a lot of people on Airbnbs are doing that more often. So that's really cool as well. But no, I'm happy for you. I'm glad you are getting ready. I know you've been planning this for some months now. So that's pretty awesome. But yeah, I will say, like, since I started in Belize and then I went to Panama, I didn't spend enough time in Panama, but enough that Panama is definitely for me a pass-through country. It's not really a place that I can, like, I didn't see. You know how you get a vibe and you're like, oh, I could see myself staying here. Like, I would consider going back, but I don't know what for. I did a cool bike tour. I did, of course, the canal, um, um, which, which, I mean, it's this massive thing that they created, but I honestly don't know if it's the first one. It might be, because it was built hundreds of years ago. But the one they have something similar in Egypt. When you are on the Nile River, you have to go through the same thing. It's literally the thing that drops the water down, pushes the boats through, and all of that. So I've seen that. Eaten at a couple cool places, moved around town. It looks a lot like, I was in Panama City, so it looks a lot like, Spain, Spanish cities, like the same kind of feel. So that's kind of cool. But I mean, it's only so many blocks and only so many times you can walk through that. What I did love about Panama is that everybody seemed to be health conscious. So it would be like at night you could go out and like right around my hotel they had like a walking and running trail. Everybody, the kids, everything were out working out. That was another thing I saw in Ecuador. Like they would have these huge parks with these trails around the parks, and everybody in their family would literally be out working out, exercising, walking, running. The kids, like little sections off for the kids, playing basketball, all kinds of stuff. So to me, I felt like they were very health conscious, and that's a motivator in itself when you're around people who actually are like um, into some of the same things as you, because it kind of, you're like, okay, so this is a space for it. It's common to actually see and then kind of be in a place where you'll be able to integrate yourself, and then also meet and find people who who are into doing the same thing, and start meeting people the right way. So um so um so I forgot what I was saying because the waiter walked up, so I was gonna ask him for something. But anyway, so yeah, I mean, I really liked being in that space and being in this space. So like this weekend, we went to another city, and what was really cool is, everybody rents out bikes and mopeds. They really had that Tulum feeling to a certain extent, but it was more like, what's a couple other places, because it's a beach town. It's definitely a beach town. Maybe almost like Marianita in Ecuador, kind of, but much more pedestrian friendly. So I literally grabbed a bike and rode a bike from. I did an 8 kilometer bike ride just to see how far I could go. On the bike, is it comfortable? Moving around, is it easy on the street? Do you feel like you're going to get run over by cars and trucks and things like that? And um, let me let me um, one second. Let me grab my headphones. Let me see. Let me know if you guys can still hear me. Because I could put the mic in, but then it'll actually pick up everything. So, I apologize. Let me know if it's loud. Okay, but let me know if there's outside noise too. Because I actually just wanted to come on and chat with you guys, see what's up, since it's been a while. You're considering Colombia after watching your journey. You know what? And I actually got to post more of all the places that I actually went to, because I haven't really done that. Not like I had originally planned. Hi, boo. You landed on your head, Andrew. Andrew, how did you like basketball? They posted a pic. Oh, okay, sorry. Hi. Yeah, especially if you're into culture, it's a great space to be if you're wanting to see some culture, some brownness. I definitely can give some tips and some advice. I'll probably do a separate video on like the coastal cities that I visited, which was Cartagena and I went to Cartagena, and then I also and Santa Marta as well. So, oh, sure. Hey, Steph. What is this?
Yeah, passion fruit.
Oh, passion fruit. Okay. Oh, gracias. Thank you. Um, so he just brought me a juice that I didn't order. So we'll see, I guess. I'll try it 'cause I like stuff. But yeah, so sorry y'all, I'm like so distracted. But uh, yeah, ask me any questions you guys have too about this is what he wrote. Andrew, that chair isn't sturdy. I needed that. I knew he was gonna bring it. But yeah, ask me any questions you guys. It hasn't been a walk. It's listening. I'm gonna figure out where I'm gonna go here next. Am I gonna stay in the country? Costa Rica's not cheap by any means, and you guys know as you're like building your network. I don't work for an American company, except my own. So I'm definitely an entrepreneur trying to make it happen. And one of the things I learned from my first 20 months abroad was to find a budget, a space that you can be in comfortably without really compromising or unaligning where you want to be or what it is that you're trying to do. Because you can go to these places and they can take you completely off the path that you need to be on so quickly when you don't have a plan or financial structure. If you just got money flowing like that, how can I be in that crew? So it's really good when you can do that, when you can and mentally and do it that you're trying to do. Yeah, I look for places where I can sit and I can be mentally focused on what it is that I need to do as well as what I'm doing outside. So if I am doing it for myself, and the reason that's important for me is because there's a couple other workshops I looked at doing. There was one I was going to do in Colombia, but it was so far off the beaten path, and I had never been to Colombia that I wanted to check out the end spots to see if it's somewhere I would be. So got to manage the finances from that perspective. But one of the things that is really important to me is can I get my work done? Can I focus? Do I have the necessary tools like Wi-Fi and things like that? Because YouTube is a part of my job. I mean, of my new job. I need to be active on YouTube, and I literally have not been able to be in a space where I could be active and do my videos and things like that because there were just other things that were being done. And then when I was in Colombia, like the last 2 weeks of that, the reason you guys didn't see me is because I was moving around and my brother was in town. He popped in, and so I kind of was like more of a tour guide kind of thing, and also just like get me with my brother. I hadn't seen him since I left last in August or whatever, but we normally do a trip together, so I kind of got off track in that respect. But then also physically, like, is it a place where I can get the physical fulfillment that I need and want without spending bankroll every time I want to do something? I also don't like gyms. If it's walking, it's cool, but if I'm really actually overly exerting and getting hurt healthy. And this is probably the first place that I have been in a very long time where I literally can get out here and hustle through these trails. There's the longest out of the 2-hour trail and hustle through it in 40 minutes and really get a good workout in and feel good about myself so that I have the mental capacity to actually get other things done and, start knocking some things out. And I'm finally just getting to that, like I would say last week, starting to really move and then like shedding some of this excess, not only like physical weight, but definitely physical weight, but mental weight. And things like that, and then just being in a space where you feel comfortable to actually move through things, and we all have and live through things in our lives that dictate whether or not we're comfortable in different settings and that kind of thing. And so, you know, figuring those things out early on and being true to yourself. So being true to where you are aligned to go. So you sit and say, this is what I want to do. This is where I want to be. This is what I want to accomplish. And then oftentimes we end up compromising the very things that we're saying we're wanting because we've been taught this compromise thing. Like, you can't be successful if you're not compromising, and I think that's utter BS. But how long did it take for me to learn that? It took me a long time to learn that it's BS. And we deserve to be in alignment for ourselves, even if who we're around does not flow with us. Even if you're around people and you're not on the same alignment, that is okay. And we've been, I think, taught for so long that that's being selfish. Well, there's a balance in everything. There's a balance in everything. So, that's where I am, and that's what I try to find when I'm deciding if I'm going to stay in a place, if I'm going to visit a place, because I think I want to go back to the coast on the east side first before, northeast side before I go to the west side. If I can stay down there, because it is very expensive here. And check out their bus system. Y'all know how I do. I'm going to jump on a bus and see how it goes. Buses are super cheap. You said, where do you suggest I visit in Colombia, where I have a soft landing as a solo traveler and digital nomad? Oh, Medellin. Cali was fantastic. I love Cali because of the cultural, like, oh, you're immersed in it. So it's such a beautiful, beautiful place. The diversity is off the chain. There's a community there as well, like girl community. And so you'll be able to move around very easily. On top of that, it's like $30 to fly to Medellin. So you like, boom. Medellin is another one that I like. So Cali is probably 5 to 10 degrees warmer just on average than Medellin. You're still in the mountains though, which is interesting. But you're closer to the coast. Medellin is way more inland. It's a little bit nippier, but to me it was perfect temperature. Very walkable. Then they also have areas that are like old historical districts as well that are a little bit hillier and a little bit of movement, but they have areas that are definitely built like European, like more expat-y and things like that. So you're going to have definitely a lot of Wi-Fi, but the cost is going to be a little bit more. But it depends on what you can afford for yourself. And then there's different little neighborhoods within, and I stayed in 2 neighborhoods in Medellin. I stayed in 3 neighborhoods. It was technically the same neighborhood. 2 neighborhoods in Cali, and I stayed there for a month, and I was only going to stay a week. And then I stayed in Santa Marta longer than I should have. So like 14, I think almost 2 weeks. So probably it was like 11 days. And then I was only in Cartagena for 2.5 days, and I would go back to Cartagena. In all of those, you're gonna have Santa Marta. Just don't. Just don't. Don't. First of all, the community for us ain't there. Secondly, it's Belize. H-E-double hockey sticks. It's stinks. Can't quite figure out why everybody says to go there, except that you can get to Minka and like waterfalls and stuff like that through there. So you would fly into Santa Marta, but then just like take a tour or transport over to Minka. It's I was highly disappointed. The only thing they do have is a boat pier, which if y'all know, that's my thing. So, and I ended up meeting some people in Medellin who had parked their boat, yeah, and the pier in Santa Marta. So I ended up being able to hang out with them on their boat when they got back to Santa Marta. Everybody tells you to stay away from Cartagena because it's dirty and that I don't know. I literally I don't even understand why people say that because first of all, it was in terms of like being hustled and stuff like that. Santa Marta was way worse because there's to me more poverty there. It's not built out well enough. Not a lot of Wi-Fi in different places. You contend with the hot water, cold water thing, which you do in a lot of different places. But I stayed in a place that didn't have hot water in the shower. Period. In the older building, but it was right next to high rises and stuff, but they didn't have hot water, which is okay if you're like hot and sweaty and you want to take that cool shower, but if you want a hot shower. But that wasn't the only thing. It just visibly, like, and I can show you pictures that will make it look awesome. You know, make it look really good. For something in person. And then I can show you the truth. Yeah. Right. Santa Marta. I'm sorry. And then on top of that, for it to be on the Caribbean side, it was very, not very mixed culturally. Get to Cartagena. Cartagena was a lot like Cali, just on the coast. Like that's what it felt like, but with more tourists. Cali is less touristy, but there are a lot of European people that come to Cali, I feel like. So you get a nice mix of everybody, and then everybody just looks. Probably fewer people speak English in Cali. More English speaking in certain neighborhoods in Medellin. But I felt in Colombia, everybody was super helpful, super gracious with assisting. You know, when you trying and your trying sucks, they're so helpful with, trying to, help you figure out what to say or what it is that you're trying to get and stuff like that. I had some really awesome experiences there with people just being gracious. But yeah, I did not go to Bogota, and the couple that I met in Medellin, they ended up going to Bogota, and they really, really liked it. So Bogota is even colder than Medellin, so it depends on, I think it's one of those places where you kind of always have to have like a long sleeve on or something close to you. But they said it was great. You hear about Bogota being like I think, I immediately think of like red light district type of city where everything is party, 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 and kind of like what I think about when I hear Tokyo, but it's not really like that. And so I'm big on if there's a place that you want to go, if there's an area, something that you're trying to see or visit, go. I mean, unless it's like a war zone or something like that, I would say go and visit for yourself because most people's view won't always kind of encompass what it is that you're trying to achieve, what you want to experience, or you know, unless you really know a person really well. And so I'm big on because I almost didn't go to Colombia, number one because of their COVID restrictions, and they kept changing up until like right before I went, well, last year. And so they were a little iffy in their wording and things like that. And so I was a little like, eh. And then, you hear all this rigmarole. It's kind of like when you're getting ready to go to Cuba and nobody believes that you can travel to Cuba. I've been to Cuba twice. The second time I was completely solo. The first time I was almost solo. And I've been there twice, and everybody's like, "You can't go to Cuba." I'm like, "Y'all know we've been going to Cuba since Obama was in office and changed the rules, right?" But you hear so many negative things. You hear same thing about Mexico, the cartel, and all of these negative things. And I'm like, if you ain't doing cartel things, you ain't got to worry about cartel. Number one. Number two, we ain't got nothing they want if you ain't doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a whole different world. The whole thing about thinking that these people are even thinking about us, just regular people, like regular travelers, they're not thinking about us. Look at your breath. Oh my God. So you hear a lot of those kinds of things about Colombia because where it's located, what it produces or can produce, and yeah, just like anything else, you'll hear about corruption and things like that. But I'm like, we live in the great United States of America. We're the leaders of corruption, right? Aren't we? So, healthcare is I haven't actually done anything, but one of my friends that I stayed with in Ecuador, she had some dental work, some major surgery dental work done because of an accident, and a breeze. The cost was like pennies. Her cost for the whole procedure was less than what she would have paid in a copay in the U.S. Um, So I actually want to consider going back for just some maintenance dental work. Oh, look at all the little birds on the little balcony. They all match the balcony. But I feel like all of the Latin countries, like their healthcare is just raves. The U.S., even Mexico. So, I know a lot of people worry about that, but if you've still got your full time job, you're okay. There's a couple of secondary insurance companies that I pick up when I'm traveling from place to place, and it's like World Nomads. It's one that I use actually more often than anything. There's another one that I used one time when I went to Thailand, and they covered everything. It was interesting. That was a whole nother spiel. I'm sure I have some YouTubes about it. If not, I'm sure I wrote about it. If I didn't YouTube. How you feeling with that? But yeah, I would definitely say you're gonna most likely land in Bogota if you've got a little bit of time. Spend 3-4 days in Bogota. Hop on down to Cali, go to Medellin, and go to Cartagena. Those are literally those are the top stops. So if I go back, I will go back to Cartagena, or yeah, Cartagena, spend some more time because I would like to island hop. Go to San Andreas or Santa Andres, something Andres. It's like there's a big island out there, and you could actually take a flight. I'm not sure if they have both, but you could take a flight and then go to Pablo Escobar. I think that's San Andres and like all of that. All the islands in between, and then you have the 350. I think it's 350 islands between Colombia and Panama. So you could actually take a boat it's like a 3-4 day trip between the two and hit like all the islands in between there. It's amazing, right? So I would do that. Um, if I want waterfalls, I might do Minka, but you don't even have to go that far. Like you can literally get waterfalls pretty much any place, and I would consider Bogota. I don't have to go to Bogota, but I would go back to Medellin. Um, I probably would. I'm trying to think if I would go back to Medellin Colombia, over Cali. And the reason, one of the things I will tell you about Cali is it's definitely the salsa capital. It is the salsa city of the country. They do salsa everywhere and dance everywhere, but Cali is just, it's it. I think people literally come from Medellin and Bogota to Cali just to dance for like a weekend. It's like that. Like I said, it's like $30. Or you could jump on a bus. It's like 9 hours, I think, bus ride. But I mean, take a 45-minute flight, get the tickets when the tickets are a good price, pay $35. It's one way, so you gotta pay 35 going back, but still. But yeah, let me know if you have any other questions about Colombia. I can say so much. about Colombia. It was a breath of fresh air. I loved every bit of it except Santa Marta. It's just a disappointment. The place I stayed at in Poscos or Pozos, Colorado's, beautiful, beautiful 20 something story building. No restaurant, no bar, nothing close, nothing in walking distance. They don't have ride share, but they can call a cab for you. It was beautiful, like resort kind of thing, but with no food. So I think it's still in development. The apartment I stayed in was great. It was a 3 bedroom apartment on Airbnb, and we paid a little bit more for this December, but normally that place rents out only $85 a night for 3 bedrooms. I don't know if you saw the videos that I was posting when I was there. I'll have to take I'll have to take a look and see if I posted something. If not, I'll add it to my list of things that I have to complete. But yeah, so there's cool things everywhere, but yeah, there's just places I would definitely avoid. It's not worth going, and then it kind of can taint your view on a place. You know how we generalize and one place can be bad, and now we hate the whole place. Don't go to Colombia. And then you hear all these negative things that men's experiences in Colombia with being robbed and stuff like that. But that's on that clubbing circuit. That's on that red light district circuit, right? And so if you're not into that thing, you won't even see it. You know. And this one piece of advice I'm gonna give before I get out of here, you guys, is if you have credit cards and debit cards and stuff and you use that fingerprint technology, take it off. If you're gonna be places taking your cards and stuff out with you or bringing people back to your room, do you know that you could be completely knocked out and I could just put your fingerprint on the fingerprint technology and have access to all your accounts? Everything that's easy ain't worth it. Challenge yourself to type that 4-digit code in. Because I can't get the code if you're knocked out. But I can use your fingerprint if you're knocked out. We gotta be a little bit smarter, y'all. You just gotta be a little bit smarter. Okay? Alright, y'all, that's something. I'm getting out of here. I just want to touch base. It's been so long since I've chatted with you guys. Thanks, Shanna, for jumping on. You can always message me. mindyourbodyandsoul.com. Click the contact us, and I'll get an email if you have any specific questions about Colombia. May make it back to Mexico City. I have some friends out that way too that I may visit before I leave the Americas cold turkey. But anything you want to know about those areas too, I mean, there's lots of, obviously, Sandra and Sonia, and then all the other people who have been to Mexico City. Can definitely fill in some of those gaps, but I can share my experience. I don't think I put that on YouTube either. I was there for like 3 weeks. But I'm more than happy to share what I've experienced. No, you're so welcome. Alright, I'm gonna get out of here. That hour went by fast. Every time I'd be like, I'm gonna be 20 minutes. Get out of that went by fast. So anyway, touching base with you guys. Just stay tuned. I'll be getting my mind right. I think I'll be moving around in the next few days and getting resettled and all of that. So I want to make sure, before the end of this month. So I want to make sure that, I come back on and let you guys know where I land, what city or what country I land in. I want to know who's got the most offerings at the lowest price, or if there's a place that I go to, if there's something really cool that I want to experience. So, if you guys have tips about Costa Rica, the East Coast, like the Limon area, Puerto Viejo, Cuba, I think it's Manzanilla, is like closer to the border on Panama and Costa Rica, or if you know anything about the west side, like Tamarindo, Liberia, Costa area over there. I've been to Hako already, and then there's an area south, like there's also that peninsula area. Somebody told me Montezuma, yeah, over there as well. So if y'all know of anything like that that I should be made aware of, that would be fantastic. The more I know, the more I know. All right, y'all. I'm out of here. Y'all know the drill. Doodles and noodles. Peace and hair grease.